Hi, good morning. Welcome to what is hopefully about to be organized chaos because we are headed to the November sale. If you watch my September sale video, I can guarantee you this is going to be hopefully more smooth. September sale was definitely more chaotic. Like I had an outline in my brain of how every day was gonna go. I was gonna do like a morning check-in of what the day was gonna be like, and then check back in and like, do the shows and all that stuff. And then check back in the afternoon, talk about how the day went. That was the plan. Plan went right out the window because unfortunately, not only did we just have so many horses, we were also constantly shipping in and selling at the same time. And then, we get busy and then we hit a dead period where it's just boring and nothing's happening. And just recording left my brain. It is what it is. Anyway, so hopefully this November sale is going to be a little bit now, hopefully, shouldn't be as chaotic. But there's actually two separate November sales. So we're in both November sales. I don't even remember if I'm saying the right month anymore. There are two November sales. So the first sale is the Phasic Night at the Stars. It is a select sale. So a select sale, the horses have to be approved ahead of time. They're not going to just take any horse. And so they call it the Night at the Stars because they have like the like the broodmare racehorse prospect section. Those are some big heavy hitters. Like there's going to be a lot of horses that are going to be competing over at the Breeders' Cup who are going to be flying in to sell at this sale. So that obviously they have the mare section. We're not selling any mares. We are selling babies. And the baby section, they do have what is considered like a stallion showcase for first year stallions. So stallions whose babies are like on the ground for the first time, like they're weanlings right now, they will kind of have preference over like a nice first crop baby, to bring into the sales to essentially showcase what the stallion is potentially about to have. So we have a couple. How many babies we have? Three. We had four originally. We have a Good Magic, who was probably our big hitter for the sale. Um, we have an Army Mule, and we have a Mandaloon. And we originally were gonna have a Jack Christopher too, except for the Jack Christopher had a little funky on the X-rays that he's gonna mature out of. But we opted to go ahead and scratch him because he was pretty. But so yeah, those were our four. Now we're down to three. The Mandaloon and the Good Magic are first year stallions. The Army Mule is not, but we showed him and they liked him, and so that's why he's going. Um, so yeah, we have to do today. We're moving into Phasic. We sell Monday because they always do it right after Breeders' Cup. So for those of you who do not know what Breeders' Cup is, Breeders' Cup for us is like our yearly championship. It's like for us having a yearly Olympics because basically all the best of the best show up at the end of the year to like, cement their hopeful titles. But it's not just like in the Kentucky Derby where it's 3-year-olds going a certain distance on the dirt. We have, turf sprinters, dirt sprinters, milers, um, routers on the dirt, routers on the turf. So like we have different, a little bit of everything, and you just get your champion at the end of the year. Anyway, so they always do it right after Breeders' Cup, and Breeders' Cup is Friday, Saturday. This year, Breeders' Cup is all the way over in California, so they have to give people that extra day to travel. I was supposed to go out there, but there was issues with the visa. That was not me. It was someone else, but it was who I was going with. Anyway, so that's why we ended up not going. But it's fine because we had to do the sale stuff anyway. So we're selling Monday for the Night at the Stars, and then quite literally the very next day is when Keeneland starts to sell. So I think I honestly don't have my paper. I haven't even looked, but I have to move into Keeneland. I think the day after I sell at Phasic I've rambled too long. Anyway, I think that's my cue that I should probably pretend to work and get out of my truck and start packing. But yeah, so there's basically two different sales that we just kind of combined into a make believe one sale because that's how it is. Anyway, we're gonna pack and take you there and get my kiddos ready. and show for a couple days and watch the Breeders' Cup and hopefully sell some babies. And I'm not going to buy anything, but I have a client who's buying things. So that should also be fun. Thank you.
Can you at least blink so that we know you're alive?
Oh, I'm gonna do so much better this round, and we're gonna record every morning, talk about what to expect for the day, and record every afternoon and tell you how the day went. I'm a liar. I lied to you, I lied to me. Anyway, so Friday, what is today? Today's Sunday. So Friday was the very first day of showing. It was pretty slow, pretty boring, nothing really too exciting to talk about. I had one kid, that was definitely like, it took him a little bit to kind of get into the groove of like, oh, this is how we are properly showing type vibe. And then once he figured it out, he kind of figured it more out like Saturday, and he kind of settled. And all three, bless my poor babies, they all were tired Saturday. They were like, it's been a long day. I'm like, yeah, we were busy Saturday, which was surprising. Like, there's still a lot of people over that are coming from California that we haven't seen yet. Like, notably, I noticed that a lot of the Japanese buyers kind of showed up this afternoon, and they kind of knocked out their mares first. So if they're planning on buying babies, I haven't really seen them yet. But there's a lot of people who were shipping in, who like flew in on the red eye, and some people just went ahead and started over at Kingland first, because the Kingland sale and basic sale are running like right up next to each other. And so some people hit the Kingland sale first, and they're just gonna come do the basic sale tomorrow, so that way they don't have to keep running back and forth between Kingland and basic, because we've been doing that. Well, my dad has, because we have three clients who are buying mares, and so he's trying to multitask and try to get all the mares looked at, so we don't have to worry about it tomorrow. So yeah, and then Saturday was pretty busy. Today was Sunday. It was pretty steady. It wasn't as crazy busy as yesterday. But yeah, all my babies have been doing well. I've had a few. The Good Magic has been very, very popular, as we kind of expected. And so has the Army Mule. The Army Mule, interesting enough, there's some people who kind of will pass on him, without actually looking at him physically, simply because he's an Army Mule, and for them, Army Mules are not quite as like marketable, like for a resale right now, in their opinion, compared to like a Good Magic. That being said, the racehorse people, they freaking love Army Mule, because they know that these kids are running and they're gonna keep running, and so that's what he's kind of been more marketed toward, has been end users, is essentially what we call them. But yeah, so those two have definitely been our most popular. We've had some vets already look at them. Typically, so we actually will do a video scope. So we have to scope all their airways, and as soon as we get to the sale, we will actually have a vet do a video scope. So there's a videotape at the end of it, and we'll record the scope itself, and they'll put it into the repository so that other vets can look at it, so that we don't have to keep re-scoping the babies over and over again. So yeah, we've had quite a bit of action in the vet box of vets looking at x-rays repository, and then they come back and they'll look at them physically, just kind of, put their hands on them and go over them. So we've been pretty busy on that end as well. And the final one, who is the Mandaloon, who is the one, he unfortunately kind of hit like a little growth spurt right before we took him, and so he was a lot stronger bodied like 2 weeks ago. So it's just something that, like, it was a poorly timed growth spurt. But he is catching a lot of the eye of the Europeans in particular. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where he ends up going, is either goes over to Europe or a European buys him. He's just their type of horse. It's genuinely what it is. Actually, he was more popular today than he was on Saturday. So, which shows, because, some of the Europeans got the red eye to come on over. Anyway, that's how it's been going. We've been pretty busy. Tomorrow is the big day. The sale starts at like 2 o'clock, so there's still plenty of time for people to look at horses in the morning. They're gonna get a bath in the morning, and they're just gonna vibe, do some last minute shows. The sale starts at 2. I think we are like 2 hours in for the first hip, and then pretty much after that it should go pretty quickly. I think there's a lot of outs by the sounds of it. So, and then after we finish watching all the babies sell, we are trying, I think there's 2 mares that we're potentially trying to buy out of this sale, so I don't have to do anything. I get to consume alcohol and just watch people fight over mares. It's basically what I get to do. But if we do end up buying something, I'm sure there's going to be a celebratory dinner or something. I don't know. We're going to wing it. Hopefully, I don't know. Anyway, as of right now, I think the loosey-goosey guesstimate of what these 3 kids are going to bring, the good magic, we're thinking anywhere between 200 to 300 is kind of where she is going to fall. The Army Mule, we're saying around 125 to 175. And the Mandaloon, probably in the realm of like 50 to 75 is kind of what we're thinking. So, I guess we're going to see how right or wrong we are all tomorrow. Oh, goodness. Oh, spicy baby. Yeah. Goodness, somebody show me that. Somebody show me that. Thank you, thank you. Goodness. No. Everyone who's looked at her is going to look at her at this point. You know how it is. She's been fun.
Winners on the year. This out of the Leeds map, sister to the stakes winning and graded stakes place Renaissance Frolic, and to the graded stakes place Destin, and to the Dam of California Frolic. That stakes winner picked up another stakes win since the catalog in the Precious Passion Stakes in fourth record time at Monmouth Park. That happened since the catalog. Billy bring just the second hole out of the air. It's Billy by the Magic. Oh yeah,
Jumping in really quick, I did not get any like actual video of the other two babies being inside the sale ring, because I completely forgot that Phasic Tipton does not leave up their live stream for as long as Kingland does, and so I didn't go back and record it in time. And also, like, I was able to get the good magic, like, because I happened to be standing physically inside the ring when it happened. And the Mandaloon and the good magic were like really close together, so we had divided and conquered when that happened, like when they went through the ring. And the other one, there's so many of us there that I was in the back of the outside of the ring doing book stuff, so that's why I failed you all on that aspect and did not get the sale footage. But it's okay, I talk about it and everything, so it's fine.
I didn't do the fancy cinematic, so maybe they'll be rejected. But
I'll say, I don't do
180 will be next. Inside by Leader's agent, Queen Picasso, 4-year-old being led by Kingman, out of Paris by Danro. Beautifully bred mare here by Kingman. She herself is a Grade 3 winner of the Soaring Softly Stakes at Belmont Park.
She's like, this is
that video will be shown
scary.
shortly on the screens.
Oh my god, Hollow Rock.
Mary, as I said, a Grade 3 winner. She's also a half-sister to...
Wow.
the drop off on there, I'm like,
My sister hates it because she beat her sister, or beat up Millie. Yeah. Not by a lot, but she beat her.
like,
She's a great look. Million one. That million one. That quarter. Thank you. Million one quarter. That's $1,125,500. Right there, Craig. 1,100,000. Thank you. First 4 starts, not winner 4, but first 6 starts, including the Grade 2 Wonder Again Stakes. That victory playing on the monitors right now. She's a stakes winner at 2, 3, and 4, a multiple Grade Stakes winner and Grade 1 place owner of over $740,000. Standing here at the multiple Grade Stakes winner Championage, an owner of over $530,000. Lovely filly here, offered as a breeder prospect, and maybe expect suitable mating. Here's consumer spending. $900,000 goes to you.
Listen, I apologize that it's kind of dark right now, but listen, I remembered, and I've managed to at least record this on time. Is it going to be published on time? No, absolutely not. But it's recorded on time. So we just sold all 3 of the kids. The Army Mule was the first one to go through the ring, and listen, that was a $7,000 stud fee. When we paid essentially for the sperm, granted it's live cover only, so obviously he, mounts the mare and everything, but it's like, essentially it's $7,000 from what we paid for the sperm. And he sold for $120. That's great. That's phenomenal. Like, that's a home run. Here's the thing with Army Mules. I freaking love them. They're beautiful. I love them. They're tenacious. They are definitely something that's been on the up. So that was great. So he sold for $120. The slight disappointment of the group was definitely the Mandaloon. Before leaving the farm, I was kind of thinking in the realm of 50 to 75. He had like a minor thing with the vetting, but it was kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, could definitely just be like an immaturity thing, but obviously sometimes with stuff like that, it's like that's what it seems to be, but it also might not. We could totally be absolutely wrong. The vet could be wrong. We could all be wrong. But so originally I was thinking between 50 to 75. After talking to the owner and everything, we opted to put a 37 reserve on him, and he did sell for 40. So he sold. He, kind of just bought the bare minimum of what we expected. So yeah, he sold, which was good. I don't remember his stud fee. I think the stud fee was like 25-ish. I could be totally wrong. I forgot, to be honest. But he did sell. So, but he was kind of the one that we were thinking 40 to 75. So it was slightly below what we thought where he did sell at 40, but he sold, which is good. Next was the home run of the group, which was the Good Magic. Now, originally when I left the farm, I was like 200 to 300 is pretty much what I think she's going to be at. And sure enough, she did hit that max of 300. So she did sell for 300, which was a huge home run. All good things. Thrilled with how that turned out. And then, so obviously I didn't really show it. So I showed a little bit of it. It was kind of, cause this is fun. And I honestly didn't even stick around for the big kid, or who I thought was going to be the big kid. But there was also a whole bunch of mares that were selling, and I had a client who was kind of interested in something between like the 300 to 500 zone. And he got his butt whooped. He did not do well. My phone died on, I don't know what happened. I think I lost battery. Anyway, so yeah, we tried to buy a couple mares. We got our butt whooped. It is what it is. It happens. But that client is going to continue trying to buy mares. And we have more clients trying to buy mares. So that will be the interesting fun of the next couple days. But as soon as they're finished, we get to sell more babies. So, yeah, that's how the first sale went. Everything sold. We did great. Gold star for everyone involved. Fabulous. Awesome. That's all I got. Anyway, until we see you at Keeneland. It is now Tuesday morning. Obviously sale for us is done over at Phasic. Keeneland starts today. However, we do not move in until later. Originally we were supposed to have book 3, book 4, book 5. We scratched the 2 horses that are going to be in book 3 just because of some vetting issues, which is something we kind of expected. So we just have book 4 and book 5. However, they are actively trying to buy over at Keeneland right now. And I'm still over at Phasic because I just came to check to see if our kiddos are gone yet. Essentially, from the fall of the hammer, they have 24 hours to move the horses off the premises, and they are technically in charge of taking care of their horses. However, as consigners, it is also kind of our job just to keep track of everyone, make sure everyone's okay. And so luckily it's pretty close to us where I just kind of peek in and check on my kiddos frequently enough. I leave like, half a bale of, oh good Lord, there's a huge traffic jam of trucks. Hold on. That is the loading dock. So obviously there's a lot of horses that have to be picked up within the next couple hours. So obviously everyone is kind of doing their job and doing that. Anyway, I'm gonna check on, make sure my kids are a-okay. Well, all 3 are still here. But, oh goodness. Gave them hay, gave them water, got extra, we're all set. Yeah. You all set. Thank you. You're so good. I apologize that it is dark. But it is, I think it's Saturday. I don't know. It's a morning. It's a day of a morning. So I know at this point. But obviously we finished at the Phasic sale, and that's like a one and done sale. So it's like a one night. So, we moved in, showed a couple days, sold. I went back to check on the kids the day after they sold, make sure everyone was good. And then they left. And now we got a little bit of a couple day break before heading back to Keeneland. Technically the Keeneland sale started the following day after the Phasic sale. That kind of go right back to back to back. But I got special treatment. Not really. I just got to go back to the farm, hang out for a few days before we head back. We've got 2 babies for this first group, and then we're gonna have 2 babies for the next group. Is there anything fun or special to say? I don't really think so. We're gonna do as we do. I will say the sale has been very spotty, so I'm not entirely sure what that's gonna correlate to for the later books, because oftentimes when the first couple books are spotty, like there'll be like a lot of, you know, really big, like, you know, you have your good horses are always going to sell like good horses, you know, but everything else has kind of been like, on, you know, maybe last year they would have sold for like 100, but now they're selling for like 50 type vibe, and so everyone's kind of like, oh, that's kind of the vibe right now. So sometimes when stuff like that happens, some buyers will be like, oh, I can definitely get more quality than I was planning to originally, and they'll step up, and people who typically wait and don't buy until the later books really start coming out swinging. And then those people also disappear because they get their orders filled, and then there's no one left for the later books. So that's what I'm hoping is not going to happen. But obviously, I guess we're just going to play it by ear and go from there.
$15, $20, $15 down, ready, Golden Pal, $15, $20, $15 here, you're gonna $20 on through, then $15 on down, then no, thank you, $15 and go, $15.
The first one into the ring at the Kingland sale was the Golden Pal colt. He ended up having a little bit of vetting issue where it was enough to scare off some pin hookers, but other pin hookers would definitely take the chance on him. Overall, this was a very beautiful body colt, and he had a really nice walk. Downside, he was like the very first horse in the ring, as in like he was the very first horse of the day, which sucks, but it is what it is. Anyway, he did end up selling.
20, is that you both? 15, 20, thank you. 15 here in the building, 20, 20 in the building, 15, 20, online down, 15, 20, 15 now, 20, Golden Pal, 15, 20, 15 here in the building, 20, all through, then 15's all done, said no, thank you, 15 and both 15,000.
Hip numbers 1911 and 1912, the next two both out. Hip number 9.
Billy chose the worst time to ring. Come on, Mama. Go, go, go. She's like, it's raining. Oh, goodness. Oh, I know. Was obviously a nice long walk getting into the ring, but this is the Mo Donegal filly. The owner was hoping to get about 30 for her. If I recall correctly, I think she was probably going to be in like the 15 to 25 realm. I will say, when we brought her to the sale, she really bloomed. She handled herself like a true professional, was just a very class act. She was walking so well. So she kind of really peaked at the right time. That being said, she ended up not selling, no big deal. Overall, though, I was very impressed with how she kind of bloomed here at the sale. And it was a pretty good experience for her.
Yep, Mike, 29's on Ralph, down 30. Bo's out as well, 29, now 30. He had 29 to bid, down 30, down 30, down 30, down 30, down 30, down 30, down 30,000. Now she to get 30 and a bid to get 30, 30, 29, 30. Now have Ralph, 29,000.
Hip number 2120.
Hi, you're gonna stare at the top of my truck while I put my pants on. Anyway, today's the final day of the sales, so I don't really know. Let me tell you, freaking yesterday was so slow. I think at best we did like 15 shows for these two kids. The sale itself seemed to be going kind of strong, but like, because like we had someone who was trying to buy a single baby and kept getting outbid on everything. But like, I had 15 shows yesterday. 15 people. That's it. So, these are the type of horses I guess we're gonna sell in the back ring, if anyone's there. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Either they're both gonna come home, or everyone just decided to wait until they got to the back ring to look at them. Hopefully people are still there. Anyway, that's how I feel about all this right now. This is my personal Instagram cult. I was kind of hoping for 10 for him, but after the first day of show day, I knew, like, I was like, he's probably not gonna sell. It was very lackluster. There was not a lot of people there, and he was definitely a bit too big for some people. So anyway, I know it's gonna show up here that he sells at 10. That was a lie. That was a us mistake. Anyway, it's fine. He's back home anyway.
It's 10 to 1 with a bit of 10, 11 to be down to down, 11 with a bit of 11 to be 10,000, 11 down with a bit of 10, 11 down, be a bit to down, a bit 11 to be hit a bit else, sound thrown down to down, a bit of 10 down, a bit of 10 down, a bit of 10, a bit of ham, at the back 10,000.
Hip number 2921.
This is a Golden Sense filly. Honestly, I lost my notes. I don't remember what we had originally said she was going to go for. I think we were thinking somewhere between 10 to 15. They decided to lock in on 15, so she is another one that is not going to sell. It's fine. Definitely toward the end of this sale, it was a little rough. It always kind of mixes up from time to time. Who knows? It was just one of those years, I guess.
At 14 on bubble, 50, 15, the vertical 50, 15, the vertical 15, the 14 on 50, set a bid, 14, 15, at 14 on 50, 15, the vertical 15, the 14 on bow, 15, 14, 15, at 14, 50, 15, the vertical 50, 15, the vertical fall done, thank you, 15, set no on the back, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, and bow, 14,000.
Hip number 3079, consigned by.
So yeah, the Kingland sale was a little rough.
It happens. It is what it is. And ironically, to like coincide with the fact with my final two that didn't sell, the final two that didn't sell, they were on like the second to last day. There was technically two more days after them, but they were in that last group for babies. And so I think a lot of people kind of panicked because that filly was the very, very end. Like she was only a couple hips from the end. So a lot of people kind of panicked and were like, oh my God, we only have one more day for babies. Let's go run back to the barns and see who's still there that has a baby that they, for whatever reason, were not able to sell. And maybe we'll see if we can make them an offer close to their reserve. Here's the thing. You can do this one or two ways. You can do it the polite way that like I totally get and I understand and I respect it, or you can do it the way that like if you annoy me enough, I even if you finally give me my offer, I'm just gonna ignore it. I just it's so fucking rude. So me and my father were pretty strict because my dad owned the filly and I owned the colt. We had talked about it. We were both pretty strict on our prices, in which I was like 10 for him and I think he was like 15 for her is what it was. Um and so we were both like, okay, 10, 15. Anything lower? No. And so freaking everyone comes out of the woodworks. People were like running down back for the barns and they're like, you have two that didn't sell. We're like, yes. They're like, what do you want for them? We tell them. And then there's the one group of people who they shoot their shot close to the reserve. So let's say if I'm asking 10, they ask, will you take 8? And if I say no, they'll be like, okay, thank you. We'll have to obviously consider a few things, but if it's something we can work out, we'll get back to you. Totally get it. Totally respect it. Normal human beings. Then you have assholes over here who drive me nuts, who they'll shoot their shot and they're like, will you take 5? No, we're taking 10. Will you take 6? No, we're taking 10. Will you take 7? No, we're taking 10. Will you take 8? No, we're taking it's the whole thing. And then they freaking call you. Then they're like, oh, we can't do that right now. But we'll keep you in mind after tomorrow or whatever, right? And then they call you like 3 or 4 times, like throughout the next day. Will you take 8? Like, are you sure you won't take 8? I'm sure. I'm sure. I hate it. It drives me up a wall. And honestly, it gets to the point sometimes where they do call and offer the freaking amount. And at that point, I just tell them no because it's annoying. It's disrespectful and annoying. And I hate it so much. Be person A. Don't be person B. Anyway, that was my whole thing. So we had a lot of people asking afterwards what we would take for them, and it was kind of definitely we had a little bit mix of both. We had more of these, and it got to the point I told my dad I was like, just don't answer anybody else. I was like, I'm tired. He was like, he goes, I freaking he was dealing with one guy in particular that was really wanting his filly, and he goes, I just wanted to say words to him that were not nice. I'm like, I feel that, totally feel it. So yeah, overall, Kingland sale didn't really go too well. It happens. There's a lot of ups and downs. That is kind of the good thing with attempting to sell babies sometimes. Is sometimes you hit it out of the park like we did at the Phasic sale. Like we did it. We did a great job. We might not have gotten the same amount of money for those horses as yearlings. And it was worth the try, right? And then also sometimes we kind of just have the idea of, hey, do we feed these horses for a whole another year? Do we go ahead and let them go now type vibe with some of them? And then the other ones, you do have the thing of, hey, there's a potential that this family might improve. There's a potential that this horse is going to go through a freaking magic wand, beautiful transformation and be a knockout superstar next year. Or the opposite could happen and everything just falls apart. That could also happen too. And then also all of that information is open to the public on how much if we took a horse to the sale and tried to sell it and failed to sell it, that is public and people can look it up and people can be like, oh, this horse didn't sell as a baby for 10 or 20 and now they're over at the yearling sale asking only 5 for it. That seems kind of sketchy. Or they'll argue the opposite of like, oh, you were only asking 10 as a baby. Why are you asking 30 now? Like, it's never winning. It's always a risk, and sometimes you just wing it half the time. We kind of just it's a whole thing. Anyway, but yeah, overall, the Phasic sale went great, phenomenal, no complaints there. Kingland sale, that sucked. I did mention that we had a client that was buying. I was running around with a chicken without a head because they kept calling me and texting me, and they're like, hey, we bought so-and-so, we bought so-and-so, we bought so-and-so. They'll be there in 5 minutes. They'll be there in 15 minutes. And I'm over here with all these papers. Like, what is happening? I'm trying to look at due dates so I know where to put horses, and I'm just like, here's the thing. Anyway, I had a client. He was only supposed to buy like 2. I think he ended up buying like 4. So he has a problem doing that crap. I'm just like, that's actually, I'm just like, whatever. He was like, I'm allowed to get 2 more anyway because you took 2 of mine. I was like, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up how the November sale went. We don't have another. Their 2-year-old sales are about to start hitting off here soon. I don't do any of the 2-year-old sales. I don't. There's not my thing. The next sale I'll be going to is I don't think we're taking anything till July. I don't think we're taking anything to July. July is essentially the next closest sale that I would potentially be doing. But realistically, it's either going to be September, October type vibe. So hopefully next time I'll do even better. And I will not take 2, 3, 4, 5 months to edit and put all these together. It was rough. Now that I at least have an idea of what is easier to film and things of that nature, I'll know now how to do it better for next year. Awesome. Phenomenal. Anyway, until next time.